What it is! How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about TV show spin-offs. Talking about all the things from good ones to bad ones. Who knows, maybe we might be announcing our own spin-off shows for all our different hosts. And the only way for you to find out what we are going to talk about is to sit back, relax, grab a snack, grab a beverage, and listen on in to the first ones to die.
Hey everyone, welcome to the First Ones to Die podcast. We hope you're doing great today. My name is Jonathan. I am one of your lovely hosts. I'm here with my buddies, Alex and Jerome. How are you guys doing today? Alex, how you doing?
I'm good. I did ask to go a little bit
Why
later.
the pause?
Because I told you to ask me how I was doing because I had a special thing to show. I didn't want to take up any time. Yeah.
Literally,
all right.
Jonathan showed up,
Jerome,
and then he just literally
Jerome?
just like every piece of what you told him just went
No,
right
it's
out
fine.
the window.
It's fine. Let me just do my thing. Let's just move on from that. So I got a new drink. It is Ghost.
Swedish fish soda.
Yeah, Swedish fish. It's a Ghost. So Ghost keeps making
Swedish
these
fish?
brand of like. I tried their Sour Patch Kids, and this one's a Swedish fish one. I want to try it with everybody, of course. Oh, it smells exactly like Swedish fish. I will say that much. That smells perfectly. See, I had, when Oreos had it out, I had the Swedish fish Oreos.
I remember those. You brought them to work.
Everybody at work was mad at me. Couple people threatened me. Not out of actual threat, but like they just wanted me to know how much they hated me at the moment.
I want to know what Swedish fish is thinking. Wait, why does it look like that? Bring the...
I don't know
You
why.
would think it would at least be red.
For the
They
audio
should dye it
listeners,
red.
it looks like Sprite basically. It looks like clear but with like carbonated bubble in it.
With a little bit of a tan.
Which I don't know. I think that's just my skin.
Let's see. Oh,
That's just my skin. I am brown, if anybody did not know. Lighter side, but I'm still brown.
I want to know why Swedish fish first getting in the Oreo game, then getting in the beverage game. Why can't they just stick to their candies? The candy is good enough in and of itself. Why do they need to be doing this? There's probably a Swedish fish cereal too.
You could like make more money in the soda.
Well, think about it. Oreos created a perfect cookie, and then now they're just doing all this stuff. Like, they know people are going to come back to their Oreo. Now they're just like, let's create chaos. Let's see what people are going to do. All right.
But they're still Oreos. They're not making anything.
They're
not
not
going.
Swedish fish didn't stop stocking on the shelves. It's just you have a soda version of it.
It's supposed to be. It smells exactly like it. That's actually not bad. Compared to the Sour Patch one, this is actually not bad.
What does it taste
like?
like?
Swedish fish?
Yeah. It tastes like Swedish fish. It's a weird idea in your head because you kind of want the consistency of the Swedish fish. But it's not actually bad. I will give them this one. This one is not actually bad.
I still don't approve. I haven't taken one sip, and I do not approve. When you specialize in everything, you specialize in nothing. It's the Cheesecake Factory effect. The reason why you don't say, "Hey, I'm feeling pasta tonight. I'm feeling chicken tonight." You go to one of those places. The Cheesecake Factory is a place that you go to when you have a group of people and you just want to eat somewhere, so you go there. It's the Cheesecake Factory effect. That is what Swedish fish is doing, and that is why I do not approve. But I still like Swedish fish, and I still like the Cheesecake Factory. Don't take that for anything else.
Nothing came from this because this was actually very anticlimactic. This is actually not bad. I'll give it like a 3 out of 5. However, we should mark this day because Jonathan finally disapproves of something. That's the real shocker here. He finally disapproves of something. Hey.
I've disapproved of things, but this is just This is just the most that I have to be upset about something that I disapprove of.
You're very passionate.
The other
about
things,
it. I respect
the
that.
other
Welcome
things that
to
I've
my world. This is
disapproved
what
of
it's
in
like
the
for
past-
everything.
The other things that I've disapproved of in the past, it's just like it won't change my life any other way. I feel like this has the possibility to change my life. Swedish
Welcome
Fish
to my
does
world
have the
of
possibility
disliking
to change my life.
everything. It's okay. It's actually not that bad, and it's not like the Sour Patch Kids one where it smelled it and then it just tasted gross. It tasted like somebody liquefied Sour Patch Kids. This has a weird balanced taste. Like it works. It terrifyingly works, and I will give it to them. Go with the Swedish Fish. Go. All right. And how are you, Jerome?
No to the Swedish Fish. No. Anyway.
Right. Okay. D23 is happening as at the time of this recording, so that's been fun. They've been dropping a lot of trailers for like a lot of their just stuff in general that Disney's working on, like their animated stuff from Pixar, new shows on Disney Plus, new Star Wars content, Marvel content. So it's been a pretty interesting weekend. Hasn't been a lot of Marvel stuff. All they dropped was Secret Invasion trailer, which looks good. And also, I didn't know they were making something I didn't know they were making, which was like a legit surprise, but they're doing like a Halloween special where they're doing Werewolf by Night. And the way the trailer looks is that it's like almost like you know how there was like those you remember like Elvira, like and stuff, where she would be like, "Yes, and join me now for the." It looks like one of those movies that would have been in an Elvira segment, where it's a black and white like werewolf horror film of all these people come to a house and then get slaughtered by a werewolf. It looks really cool, and I'm like, that's neat and interesting and different for sure. And plus, Werewolf by Night is a character I did not think they were ever going to do. I'm curious if Moon Knight's going to be in it, because that's where Moon Knight comes from, the character. His first appearance was in a Werewolf by Night comic. So, that'd be interesting.
Well, if they can get Isaac again.
Yeah. Oh, he says he wants to do more Moon Knight, so probably. But that was cool. And then also, more stuff for Star Wars. Showed some Star Wars trailers for like Andor and Mandalorian and all that stuff. The other legit surprise also was announced Inside Out 2. Didn't know that was coming.
Oh yeah,
Pixar.
I saw that. That's weird.
That's interesting. But yeah, and of course, also big news. Well, first of all, there's going to be a Mufasa movie, so be on the lookout for that. Not starring James Earl Jones, because it's a young Mufasa, so he doesn't have the deep voice yet. But also they put out the trailer for Little Mermaid, like the teaser trailer, and Halle Bailey, who's playing it? She sounds good. They played a little bit of part of that world. Part of your world,
and you can see what she looks like.
Wait,
too.
Halle
And you see a little bit of
Berry's
what she looks like.
playing Ariel?
Halle Bailey.
Oh, Halle Bailey. I was like, Halle Berry's a bit older, isn't she now?
No, Halle
For
Bailey.
that role?
Also, I don't even think Halle Berry can sing. So
I don't know. I don't follow her career very closely.
But yeah, she looks good. The movie's probably still going to be mediocre, but at least she looks good as the Little Mermaid. So that's nice.
I'm excited for the Little Mermaid.
I'm just saying,
especially
listen.
I just want to see it because this movie, it feels like I was in elementary school when they announced that it was happening and that she was in the lead. So I'm excited to finally see.
They announced a bunch
it.
of stuff because like Snow White they announced, which
And
I
I
think isn't supposed to come out till like 2024, I think, or whatever. So.
Oh, if you want to see a good rendition of Beauty and the Beast, watch the French version. The French Beauty and the Beast, and I believe it is now streaming on Tubi. 95%.
Tubi's a dangerous place.
It is. It is. I will give you that. But the French Beauty and the Beast is gorgeous, from the scenery to the costume to the act. It's all it's what I wish the live action Beauty of the Beast, the American version, would have been. They were willing to actually play it. That should have been it, and it's gorgeous. And I know, yeah, you're right. The new Little Mermaid's gonna be mediocre, like all the rest of Disney's live actions.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't matter who the cast is. None of them have been like extraordinary. Every single one of them have been mediocre in different ways. Every time. That's
Yeah,
you can't beat the record at this point. They have yet to make one good one. like really good one. The closest they've gotten is maybe Jungle Book and maybe Cinderella. Those are the two.
Which Cinderella?
No, Brandy Cinderella reigns supreme.
No, not Brandy Cinderella. I'm talking about the live action Disney movie. Although Brandy Cinderella
with
is
Lily
timeless.
James.
It's unstoppable.
Yeah, it is
but
gorgeous.
No, the Lily James one was close. I thought they had some interesting new ideas they brought to Cinderella that they hadn't done before. So that was neat. And Jungle Book was like a completely different story. Same characters, but they did totally new things. And the CG looked really good. So I was like, okay, this one's kind of cool. I like it. But
Hey, look,
the rest of
another
them...
Monumental moment. Jerome likes the CGI of a film. This is just great. You guys are
That's not
just
true. I like
being
the CGI
great.
for a lot of films. It's also hard on a lot of films. But
well, this is I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Are you okay tonight?
I was
Are you
gonna
all right?
say this.
Do we need to take a moment?
he's
No,
developing
this is-
Dory disease. He has terrible short-term memory. He can't remember.
Oh
things
my
so
gosh. We are not going to diagnose me on this podcast, okay? Because we should diagnose all of us for different things on this podcast if we look back at all of our
Excuse you.
other...
I've already been diagnosed. I've talked about my diagnosis, so on that.
Okay.
But point is, D23 is great. Comment below if you did watch any of the announcements. Maybe stuff I didn't mention that you're excited about. Oh yeah, also Thunderbolts. They showed that too, which is like Marvel's Suicide Squad. But it's gonna have Bucky in it and Yelena Belova from Black Widow. So a lot of people are jazzed. They're psyched.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, and also your boy, you can't keep him down. John Walker, he's back in Thunderbolts as U.S. agent. So he's back again.
Why is he back? Why?
I watched somebody else review it, and they made a good point where I'm like, oh wait, now I am curious to see that. Is like I can't wait because Yelena Belova is apparently going to be like the leader of this team, and they're like, I can't wait to see John Walker try and mansplain to Yelena Belova because he thinks he should be the leader, and I'm like, oh my god, that is going to be the relationship, is him just being like I should be in charge, and here's why.
Anyway, Jonathan, how are you doing?
Good. Bar mitzvah update. We had it. We had the bar mitzvah. It was fun.
Did you do Shakespeare, like we discussed?
First couple hours were.
So that's a yes, because he didn't answer me, because that's because he knows he was like, of course I did. Why I'm not even going to dignify that with the response. Of course I did Shakespeare at the bar mitzvah. That.
No, there was not a Shakespeare shook at this bar mitzvah.
Shooketh?
There was not a Shakespeare to be shooketh. The first couple hours were a mess because the AC went off and it was like 110-degree day. And the AC went off at one of the levels, so we had to bring in a whole bunch of portable AC units. The elevator stopped working at a certain point. It was just a mess, but we got it done. We did it, Joe, and we had a good time. They did the chair thing. It was really cool. I'd never been to a bar mitzvah before, so now I can say that I have been to one, and it was pretty cool. Also been doing rehearsal as well. Speaking of the heat, we are at the end, finally, of our heat wave here. We're no longer in the hundreds, but literally yesterday it was pouring rain, but it was still hot outside. It all of a sudden went from heat, sun, 100 plus degree weather to heat and rain. And Gibson wasn't a fan of that. He still would not go outside. The only thing he's scared of ever is rain. Like, he's not scared of any other people or dogs. The only thing he's scared of is rain.
Well, you don't understand what it's like to be short. He could drown in enough rain. One bad puddle and we go down.
He's fine in the bathtub.
That's controlled.
So yeah, that's that. That's how the week has been. And I also started watching Elvis. I have to finish it.
I don't need to watch it to know what it's how it goes. I'm done. Baz Luhrmann makes. It's not even about Elvis. It's about Baz Luhrmann. Baz Luhrmann's movies. You can always tell from the trailer if it's like something you're gonna be into or not. And I don't think I'm gonna be into Elvis, based off of just.
I do want to watch.
It's interesting. They are going a lot into, which I didn't think that they would, or I didn't think about it. They're going a lot into like they want you to make sure like he was influenced by Black people and Black culture, and he grew up on Beale Street. Like they want you to know that. Like they do not want you.
They don't want to like every other Elvis movie or documentary or style where they're like, it was just him. He had soul.
Right.
I do want to watch that. I actually, now that you made me remember this, I wanted to forget. I watched Morbius.
Oh yeah, I saw that on TikTok.
Yeah, and you're welcome to go to the TikTok and see my commentary.
Oh no, I didn't see the commentary.
It's a terrible movie. But I do have a question, and I wanted to ask you, Jerome, because you're a comic book, you're a resident comic book guy. Mm-hmm. Something I was hoping the TikTok comic book nerds would answer for me. So with all the bats around him, can he summon bats like Aquaman and the Fish?
I think that's just a movie thing. I mean, I don't know much about Morbius because I could care less about Morbius. But from what the times I have had Morbius invade my comic books that I'm reading, it seems like he's just a vampire man. Like, that's it. He's not even really a vampire. That's why he's Morbius, the living vampire. He's a scientific creature. Like, he experimented on himself, and it gave him like abilities that are similar to vampires. I only say that because in the Marvel Universe, vampires exist, and Morbius ain't one of them. Like, they do not claim him.
So technically, in technicality, he is Batman, like Spider-Man.
I think Daredevil, if anything, in Marvel is more like Batman than anybody else. Because, he actually has sonar, and that's how he sees.
In the movie, they gave him sonar. Anyway, all right, for the comic book nerds of the world, if you could let me know that. Because there were just a lot of bats in that movie, and all I could think is, if New York didn't have a bat problem then, it definitely does now.
The most, as far as I know, no, he does not summon bats. Like, him and bats don't really have a relationship. He's just vampire guy.
Well, the vampires and bats have always been a thing. I just was hoping some comic book person would come and correct me or something.
I mean, if anything, like, Dracula exists in the Marvel Universe. Like classic Dracula. He's been in multiple books. In fact, he kidnapped Storm one time because he was like, "You fine as hell. I want you as my vampire queen. Come on, girl." You know what it is.
I hold no grudge against Dracula there. I agree with him.
So.
Well, I don't have a good segue for that, but.
Well, speaking of spinoffs, and
There's your spinoff.
Yes. Today, we are going to be talking all things spinoffs. And I'm assuming, we haven't really discussed like the logistics of what makes a spinoff or the criteria of this video. But I'm assuming we're mostly going to be diving into TV spinoffs.
I think for a spinoff to be a spinoff, it needs to have a character from that show be in the next show. Mm-hmm. Because if it's like, so Chicago Fire has like Chicago PD, has Chicago Med. They have crossover episodes, but nobody from the actual show of Chicago Fire
is a main cast member on.
Yeah. I think to really be considered a spinoff or to be more focused, like, I think the proper spinoff would have a character from the main cast move to the next cast, or a minor character become a main cast character over there. So that's my stance on it. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I think that's the best. Kind of like That's So Raven. They had Corey in the house where he moved to the White House, which weird that they allowed a child to run about the White House so much.
Well, it's his dad's the
his-
chef, so that's what gives him free reign to just run around the White
So
House.
they allow the help's children to just run amok.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously.
I never saw him wear a
true.
badge in that show. He never wore credentials.
Yeah, don't they all gotta get checked?
Because the reality is, they didn't get to this because the show got canceled, but Corey was actually an assassin trained to kill the president. So they were buttering up the president to make him real comfortable. And then when he least expected it, Corey was just going to stab him real quick like that.
I did like that
know-
they made the president Mexican in the show.
That's why
It
he was going to get killed. I mean, they're like, not on our watch.
You know why the show got canceled? The show got canceled because of the writer's strike.
A lot of shows got canceled because of the writer's strike. Pushing Daisies did, which was a show with Lee Pace. Awesome show. But it also got canceled because it was a very vibrant and colorful show of its time. And that was just a lot of money.
No,
but yeah,
like,
that's
seriously though.
basically-
I did not know that from Corey in the White, but it's because I only watched a few episodes of Corey in the House. I never really noticed much things about it. But that's interesting. They had like a president of color. It's like they were predicting the future because that show came out before Obama was president, right? Okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna get a Mexican one for a while though. It was a nice thought.
It was nice to dream.
And I appreciate the sentiment. Yeah. And going off Disney, there was also Boy Meets World to Boy Meets Girl. Did any of you watch that spinoff?
No.
Or like see some
I
episodes?
barely watched Boy
I-
Meets World. I definitely watched Boy Meets Girl.
I think I've seen like clips and stuff of Boy Meets Girl, and I never knew what was going on in that show. Like they were, the tone always seemed very serious to me in the spinoff, whereas Boy Meets World, it was mostly light, but they had like serious episodes and serious topics and stuff, as most 90s shows did.
I'm the same with you. I've only seen clips of it, but I think the clips are supposed to be the serious parts taken, out of context and stuff. There were some weird ones I saw, and I couldn't I was trying to think. I was trying to put a timeline together, but I'm
Yeah,
none of this makes sense.
I remember seeing a thread. I think I saw a thread on, I don't know if it was Twitter or something or TikTok or whatever. But for Boy Meets, or what's the show called?
Girl Meets World.
Girl Meets World. I thought it was. I was about to say Boy Meets Girl. Girl Meets World. There was an episode where one of the characters finds out he is on the spectrum, and the other friends, there was a whole thread this is why this is problematic. All of the friends were trying to either shame him or say no, you don't have autism, this is not and then at the end of the episode, apparently they still didn't accept the fact that he was on the spectrum or something. It was really weird. It wasn't
It's like that Studio
God.
C sketch where they're just like, I can't believe you're doing drugs. What are you talking about? We found your stash. This insulin. What is this? I have diabetes, guys. Have none of you heard? Look, if you're just gonna make up words, don't come in here.
They did that on The Simpsons too, where Homer, they had a jump back in the 90s, and Homer had the insulin. He's like, but I need it. She's like, no, you don't. And she's like, after a few days and him ending up in the hospital, I realized it was insulin, and that he actually did need it. And he's like, I developed diabetes from drinking too many frappuccinos.
The only spinoff that ever sticks in my mind always and forever, because I actually watched it, is when I was growing up, was The Parkers.
spinoff of Moesha.
Yeah, that show.
I never
lives
saw
forever
The
in my
Parkers.
brain. Yeah.
It's with Monique. It's what launched Monique's career, basically, that show.
Yeah, because until that point, I think she's just a stand-up personality, but then it's and then she was in Moesha, but then when her, and I forget who played her daughter.
Countess Vaughn.
Yeah, when both of them got their own show in the Parkers, that boosted their stardom through the roof. especially because the Parkers ran for so long. Like, it ran for a while.
It ran from 1999 to 2004.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did good.
Yeah.
Also, I believe Girlfriends is a spinoff too, right?
Is it?
It is not. It is not on the list.
No, not of Moesha, but
Of the Parkers?
No, not of the Parkers either. It was just a spinoff in general, I think. But I don't know.
Is it?
Kiki, that's what he's asking us.
It doesn't look like it. At least going by the Wikipedia page.
Oh my god. There is. I'm sorry.
still
I'm
remember
looking at
that.
the list. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was surprised. I saw Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, and I knew they had Queer Eye, which is what's on Netflix now. But they apparently had Queer Eye for the Straight Girl back in 2005.
I saw that
Yep.
on the list. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's on my list here of failed spinoffs. It only ran for one season. 13 episodes.
I didn't know that. I would have loved that. I would have. I find that show a little like pandering, but I would have loved it if they came over and remade my apartment and put me in better clothing and fix my hair.
Yeah, and this
I would
cast
love
included
that.
a lesbian woman, so that was like the slight.
Oh, was it all lesbians?
No, just one.
Because
Just one
Irony's kind of
lesbian
dressed like a lesbian.
woman. It's just one lesbian woman and like three dudes, I guess gay men.
Did you guys know that
Yeah.
Zaboomafoo is a spinoff?
No.
Zaboomafoo feels like a fever dream when I think about
I
it.
used to love that show. I remember getting up every morning and watching that show. It's a spinoff of Kratz Creatures, and they've had shows since then. You know, the Krat brothers.
I've never even heard of that one. That sounds creepy.
Another one of my failed ones here. Anyone Smallville fans?
I loved Smallville.
Well, you might have also liked Aquaman, which was going to be a spinoff in which Arthur Curry from that show, but played by somebody else. It was going to be a whole show centered around Aquaman. Discovering
The
that
show
he
was
king.
called Aquaman?
Yes, it was called Aquaman. Which feels weird because it's like Smallville, the charm of the Smallville title is that if you don't know who Superman is, you don't know it's a Superman show off that title because you don't know that he's from Smallville. Aquaman is very direct. It's like, look, man, screw
Right.
it. He's Aquaman.
They should have just called it Ocean or something.
Wait.
Or Water.
Right, they could have called it Ocean or Atlantis or something. I don't know.
So wait, was there a season or was it supposed to be planned and then they're like
There was
we're
one.
like, we cut
There was
it?
one pilot, and the reason it never aired is because it was a casualty of when the pilot was made when UPN was fusing with the WB,
Oh.
and in that merger, it got
Cut.
destroyed. It got cut.
If they would have made it during like the CW era now, it probably would have been on.
it would also be mediocre and lame. Yes.
I like the first season of Flash and the first
Yeah,
two
everybody
seasons
likes the
of Arrow.
first season of all of the other CW
I like
shows. They're the
season-
only good ones.
I like the 1 and 2 season of Arrow. And I liked Legends of Tomorrow up until these last 2 seasons. So Legends
See how
of
you have to
Tomorrow,
make excuses. See how you have to make
I watched
reservations.
I liked Legends of Tomorrow for a really long time. Because nobody was at the CW, nobody was paying attention to it, and they just let the writers do whatever the fuck they wanted. Nobody was watching them, and they were just like, well, there's another ones. Legends of Tomorrow and The Flash are technically spin-offs. Well,
Spin-offs off
no.
Arrow.
No, because Barry was never a main cast member, so no. Legends of Tomorrow is, yes, a spin-off of Flash and Arrow. But I don't count Flash as a spin-off. It is its own show. The idea is a spin-off. I suppose like Aquaman would have been. Was Aquaman ever in Smallville?
Yeah, the character was in Smallville one time, but he only like once, kind of like everybody else. Like Flash was in an episode of Smallville, but then it's like, then that character left, and it was like, okay, cool. I guess it's the DC universe, so technically those characters would exist. But it got redundant after a while, where it's like, first it was just Superman. And it's like, okay, cool. It's just Superman. Then they started like, and the Flash, and Batman, and Aquaman, and Catwoman. And it's just like, none of these people relate to Superman. Why are they in this show? Just because the DC universe ran out of ideas?
I mean, the DC is like struggling with whatever it's doing over there.
This is the 2000s.
It's still struggling.
DC was doing well in the 2000s.
It was doing
that was
well
back
with
when
Smallville.
the Dark Knight Rises, like the Dark Knight trilogy, was just started. The Dark Knight trilogy had just started because nothing else they put out succeeded.
So another big show from the 2000s was Friends, and they had a spinoff called Joey. Where Joey moves over to California.
That was short-lived.
2 seasons it ran. It was weird because like one of his sisters was there and like his nephew, and they just made his sister like very Jersey style Italian going on in the middle of California, and it was like, why?
Because that's it. There's nothing else.
I don't.
It's the eye shift, because
Yeah. Okay.
Do you guys count all of these shows under all that spin-offs of all that? Kenan and Kel.
Yes.
Well, Kenan and Kel, yes. The Amanda Show,
Not really.
maybe.
No.
The
I
Nick
don't
Cannon Show,
consider
definitely
those,
not. Zoe 101,
I don't
definitely
consider
not.
those spin-offs. Those are just shows
One
starring
person.
actors from that show. But they have nothing to. They are not related to all that in any way, shape, or form. They're just. They took those actors and actresses and gave them their own show because they were just so magnetic.
No, but
stars.
the Amanda Show was a spinoff of all that. I will agree to that.
Yeah, because
one.
it's a sketch
it was
comedy.
another.
Yeah,
I would say it's another sketch comedy
No,
show, but
but
none of
a
her
lot
characters
of-
from all that is
Yeah,
in
they
the
were.
Amanda Show.
Yeah,
No, she makes new characters.
Amanda was the character, kind of.
Amanda is not a character. Amanda is a person.
I don't know. Have you seen her recently?
That's different. Amanda Bynes now is a much different person than what she was when she was like, I don't know, 12 when she made that show.
I feel like Kenan and Kel and the Amanda Show. Yes, they were both skit shows. From all
No,
that,
Kenan and Kel was not a skit show. It was the show.
It was
like Drake and Josh back in its day. Like
Right.
it was two guys.
The only episode or the only part I really remember from that show is when I think it was Kel was at a convenience store and he was trying to open up a bottle of orange juice or orange soda, and like the place is getting robbed, and the robber's like, "Hurry up!" He's like, "I'm trying. Open it. I can't." That's like legitimately the only thing I remember from that show.
That's the convenience store that Kenan worked at.
Then Kenan
And
must
so
have
they
been
would
the one
always be
getting
there.
robbed.
It's always Kenan. I would say those are shows that are starring those actors and actresses, but they're not like spin-offs. Because would you say Kenan, the sitcom he's now doing, is a spin-off from Saturday Night Live? Because he's in it.
If it's based off of some of it, yeah.
It's not.
Then it's a different show.
I think
But
they count
the
these
Amanda
as,
Show
I think they
and
count
Kenan
these
Kel
as,
has a vibe.
I think
Okay.
they count these as spin-offs because they're all by the same person, the person who shall not be named. And because of that, it's like he gave this person their own show from this show, and that's why it's a spin-off.
I guess.
think their energy came from the I say at least those two shows definitely. Zoe 101 and the Nick Cannon Show. I don't even remember what the Nick Cannon Show was about, honestly. I don't remember anything
Me
Nick Cannon has
neither.
done.
I didn't really watch the Nick Cannon Show.
And I don't even... Is that the... No. What is the other show he does now?
Wild and Out?
Yeah. The only thing I know from Wild and Out is when they do the rap battles. Everything else, I don't watch anything else. When they do the rap battles, that's the only thing I like from that show. Because they get super creative, and I will give them that, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Everything else, I have no idea.
While we're thinking about Nickelodeon, did you know there was supposed to be a Gibby show?
Yeah.
As a spinoff from iCarly?
Gibby used to creep me out so much.
The description is, according to the iCarly wiki, the show is about Gibby getting a job at a rec center and mentoring middle school teens.
Like an adult Gibby?
I guess at least. Like
I think it would have just
Gibby.
been him as a kid, yeah, whatever age
like
he
an
was.
older teenager, yeah.
Because like Gibby did not have
Well, because by the
his
time the
shit
show
together
ended,
enough.
Well, by the time the show ended, they were all like easily 17. So they were close to adulthood, I guess. So I guess he would be out here mentoring the kids. They only ever did one episode. They only ever did like a pilot, and they never aired it.
Because the character they created in that show was not mature enough to mentor anybody. If he's mentoring
Never
my
know,
child,
man. He's been through a lot. He had to put up with Carly and Sam, both
That's
two
true.
different levels of crazy.
I will give you that, yeah.
Um,
Nickelodeon had a surprising amount of spinoffs from their show. You can always connect one show to the past of another
Well, because
show.
they needed it. They needed it. All right, we needed to ride this train for as much money as we can. We're not Disney. We can't make classic shows on a moment's notice. We got to take what we have and go with that until it's burned into the ground.
They used to be able to do that. Go ahead.
Did you know, kind of going back to That's So Raven, there was supposed to be a spinoff. In That's So Raven, there's an episode called Going Hollywood. It's where like Corey, he wins a role on a TV show. And so he has like one line and he fails at doing the line. I don't know if you guys remember this episode.
No, I didn't watch it too much.
Okay, there's an episode where they go to Hollywood and Corey gets a role on a TV show called Better Days, and in that episode, Raven and Corey, none of the main cast members for That's So Raven they're barely in the episode. That's because it was a backdoor pilot for a spinoff called Better Days, the name of the show within the show, and the episode starred Allison Stoner. She was in Camp Rock and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Don't just tie her name to that. Don't do that to her.
It is. She is.
She is, but don't do that to her.
Well, should said Allison Stoner. She's in Step Up. There you go.
Step Up. All the Missy Elliott videos.
Yes. So
All those Missy Elliott videos.
Exactly. She was.
Amazing.
She killed those. But anyway, yeah. So it was a backdoor pilot, and that eventually fell through. But the basis for the episode turned into Hannah Montana, because in the episode, Allison Stoner was playing this like TV star who had a regular life at school and everything, and that kind of turned into Hannah Montana.
I wonder what came first, Hannah Montana, like the performer, or the show, and then the show by extension created the performer. Because that's happened before.
The show was first.
Okay.
Because a lot of people
like-
actually didn't know Billy Ray Cyrus had, like, I don't think a lot of people knew of her because she was still far too young to like.
Yeah, she was
performing
definitely
just yet.
new. Yeah, she was definitely like new when the show started.
True, she was like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't literally, but she was really young when the show started. Because I'm just thinking about like Big Time Rush was like Nickelodeon's attempt to. In fact, Nickelodeon had a couple attempts to make a Jonas Brothers band, because the Jonas Brothers just existed, and then they made a show around them. But then it's like Nickelodeon was like, "Damn it, we need one. Big Time Rush, come on up." It's like, who's Big Time Rush? Our new boy band, and they've got a TV show to match. And then when that failed, they were like, you know what? Who else we got? Naked Brothers band, come on up here.
Well, now they're like
Wait.
selling out arenas and stuff.
I won't lie. I would totally go see Big Rush. Big Time Rush. Big Rush. Big Time Rush. I love that show.
They were talented. It was just the fact of just like they just kept spitting them out, and then they were like, "Victorious, yes, more music." And it's just like, why do you keep trying to like make this a thing? It's not a thing anymore. All right, you just gotta have the stars already exist, and then make a show around them. Don't try and make the show, and then bring these people in here, because that's how you end up with Ariana Grande, who outshined everyone in Victorious and is now an amazingly successful.
Who also had a spinoff.
That's true. She did with Sam, which, again, like I said, ride that till the wheels come off. It's like iCarly been over, but they're like, damn it, not if we have anything to say about it. Jeanette McCurdy, get in here. Be in this show.
All I'm saying is if they come to Seattle, will somebody go with me? Or
if they
LA.
come to LA, will you fly down?
Well, let's see. I'm going to look up their tour dates now. Now that's a promise.
Are they still together?
Yeah, they were announced a reunion
They
tour.
reunited. I saw a TikTok of this girl who flew all the way to New York. It's not funny. It's kind of sad. She flew all the way.
It's not funny. It's actually really sad.
She flew all the way to New York to see Big Time Rush, and she.
Sorry, just the way
setup.
I say that all the time, where I will say something and I'm like, it's funny, but it's not actually funny. It's not funny when you're in the situation and I understand it. However, it's funny.
So she flew all the way to New York to see Big Time Rush that night, but when she got to her hotel room, she fell asleep. And she woke up and made a TikTok. She's crying. She's like, I fell asleep. I flew all the way to New York to see Big Time Rush. The concert's over.
Oh, that's funny, but not funny.
That's what you get for not setting the alarm. You knew to wake up.
I'll give you that poor girl.
Sad. So sad. You think Ariana
I-
Grande will ever go back to acting? I mean, she doesn't have to.
She will.
She makes
She's going to
plenty
be in
of
the
money.
Wicked movie. She's going to play
I mean,
Glinda.
that don't really count, though.
That does.
No, I'm saying like acting, not like musicals. All right,
No.
every singer would get picked to be
better
in
watch
musical.
your
Yeah,
mouth.
you
I'm
gotta
just
keep
saying-
careful.
I'm
Careful
just
what
saying.
you said.
I'm just saying. It's just like I want
And
to
I'm
like.
saying.
I haven't seen a Jennifer Hudson like Jennifer Hudson in Dreamgirls we've not seen that Jennifer Hudson in a long time.
She
because her
just
music
played
career took
Aretha
off,
Franklin.
and now she's.
She
Oh,
got
that's true.
nominated.
Never mind. I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
She just played
No, she
a
did good.
nominated
She did good as
Oscar
Aretha.
character. Yeah.
She was solid, actually. All right, I'll give her that. My bad, Jennifer. My bad. That's on me. That's on me. But I'm just saying. There's some people
no,
where it's like
probably
once they
not.
get a music career, they're like, man, screw acting. This is what I like to do. And the only time they do act ever again is for musicals.
Oh, Ariana Grande was in a spinoff, Sam and Cat, from iCarly.
Yes, we
We talked
mentioned
about
it
that.
Do we
earlier.
mention Sam and Cat?
Yes.
I was busy looking up Big Time Rush. All right. By the way, their tour
See,
has
I'm
already
not the
ended.
only one
We'll
in
have
this
to wait for the next
episode.
tour.
That. Yeah, that's normal for Alex, all right? That doesn't count.
How dare you say such accurate things? Rude.
What about reality show spinoffs? Okay, I have to get
I'm
in my
about to
reality
say,
show,
all right, go
show
ahead.
back. Okay, so we have and I'm just talking about competition reality shows because I know there's like Kardashians and all those shows.
They don't
No,
count,
okay,
though.
wait. Oh, hold on.
not the
I got
same.
the reality show that spun thank you.
Spun off. There you go.
Spun off all these other shows was Surreal Life. Surreal Life was back in the early 2000s. It was taking a bunch of basically washed up celebrities and sticking them in a house. Because of that show, we got love series Strange Love, which was the original title of Flavor of Love. And because of Flavor of Love's success, we got Rock of Love with Bret Michaels. So a spin-off of a spin-off.
I don't know
Then
if
they
that's
had
technically a
Flavor of
spin-off.
Love's
That,
Tiffany
like,
Portland
like-
Okay, fair enough. But Flavor of Love did have I Love New
It
York.
did have a spinoff. Yes, was
Yeah.
I Love New York. That was the spinoff of Flavor of Love.
And then because Surreal Life affected Bret Michaels, because I think Bret Michaels was on Surreal Life, Bret Michaels had also a spinoff from that show, which was Charm School, where all his contestants, because of the way they were, also came from Flavor of Love, from Charm School. And just all these shows kept coming. There was also there was For the Love of Ray J, Rock of Love Bus,
yeah,
Daisy of
I
Love,
forgot about that.
Megan Wants a Millionaire, which was canceled halfway through because one of the contestants murdered their wife, found the body in the dumpster.
Interesting.
So Surreal Life is the reason we got all those shows back in the early 2000s. Surreal Life was what VH1 set off VH1's.
I mean,
insane.
It's more like that show showed like how successful it could be, and then it just like started. It created the formula for so many other shows to come behind it.
And it was for a specific time. You're talking about the For the Love of or whatever shows.
Yeah, because there's also like A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila. That was popular for a while. Which that was the only one that I legitimately thought was like interesting because the host was bisexual. She's like what we would consider LGBT now, but at that time it was just like if you were anything but straight, you were gay. Like that's how it was defined in the 2000s. But anyway, but being bisexual, it added an element that wasn't in any of the other shows, in that it was like there's boys and girls here to compete for the love of this person. Granted, I think it only ran for like 2 or 3 seasons.
It ran for 2 seasons.
I think a girl won one.
A girl
time.
won for a season, and I'm still upset by the person she chose because Danny, the firefighter, got pushed out. And she should have been the one. She was fantastic. Tila Tequila should have chosen. All these years, I'm still putting it. Tila Tequila also kidnapped her neighbor's children and tried to baptize them.
Interesting.
For the competition side of reality, well, I guess those were For the Love of shows were kind of competition shows, but.
Well, because especially because you missed Flavor of Love was the
Flavor
deepest
of
one, 'cause
Love.
they had Flavor of Love. Then I Love New York. And then from I Love New York, there was a spinoff of Chance and Real, who were the brothers that were on that show. And they had a Real Chance at Love, which is another show spinoff of that one.
So, but it all started with Surreal Life. Flavor Flav was on Surreal Life, and then they gave him his own show, and then from there on and on and on. So technically, Surreal Life was the basis of all these spin-off shows and the shows that they were like, hey, this worked, let's get this other celebrity and put him on a dating show. It was the basis. And they're thinking of remaking it. I feel like that's such a bad idea.
I think they are.
No, they shouldn't.
Look
what
like
it created.
It
created VH1. It created VH1's era.
Yeah, a channel that's slowly dying. Like VH1. Is anyone watching VH1 anymore?
I think RuPaul's Drag Race airs on VH1.
That's probably the one and only thing anybody's watching.
Holding it up.
VH1 show.
It's just like Ridiculousness and Wildin' Out are the only two things holding up MTV.
And Love and Hip Hop. Love and Hip Hop airs on VH1.
Oh yeah, that's right.
For the Big Brother side of things, since we're going in the reality shows with people living, in a space together, we have a few. Wikipedia lists more, and I know all these other shows that they're talking about, but half of these are like web series shows that don't really count. But there was about like 6 years ago or 7 years ago, there was Big Brother Over the Top, and it was a season of Big Brother, but it was like only on CBS All Access, so it was only streaming online. But they showed like everything. Like on the normal season of Big Brother, you have the live feeds and you can watch people 24/7, but they have like blackout times for like the competitions, the live shows, blah blah blah. With Big Brother Over the Top, they showed you everything, like the competitions, the live shows, everything. And during that season, since it aired in the fall, of 2016, which was the election time, and the house guests, they didn't know who had won the presidency. And so there's a video, you can watch it right now, where Julie Chen is telling the house guests that Donald Trump is the president of the United States, and you see their reaction. It's really fascinating. I might have showed you it. Yeah.
I think I've seen a clip of that actually recently,
Yeah.
like on TikTok or something.
It is, yeah, and
Yeah,
their
where
last
I'm
season
just
was
like,
just,
oh man,
their
that hit the
their
line.
most recent season was this year. I don't know if it'll continue
There's
next year.
also
It might, but,
Celebrity Big Brother. I
they just
remember
had
that
one
too.
this
Was that
year,
considered a
and
spinoff?
they've had 3 seasons of it so far.
Are there other Big Brothers in other countries? I know there's
There
Big Brother
are
Canada, but,
almost
like, is there something
there
else?
are. Let me see. There are like because almost I feel like almost every country has their own Big Brother. There are. I'm trying to find a
Where's Big Brother Africa at?
there are different Big Brothers in Africa. there's Big Brother Nigeria, there's Big Brother
Okay, so there's a Big Brother Africa, technically.
yeah.
I don't know why
Well,
that
there are
made me laugh.
multiple, I think. I'm trying to find, but while I'm finding that, there's Big Brother UK has a lot of spin-offs as well. They have a Celebrity Big Brother. They had, which it technically ended, but Big Brother's coming back. They had an Ultimate Big Brother. They had Teen Big Brother, The Experiment at one point, which early 2000s. Yeah. You've been watching that? Which season?
I've been
Season
really
1 or 2?
recently watching, and I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Don't
Okay,
ask me
I
how
only
started
started watching
this.
the first episode of season 2.
F-Boy
but then there was
Island.
so much other stuff I had to watch, so I stopped watching it.
Yeah, I'm on season 2. I don't know how. I don't know if I don't ask me how. But I was like, damn, this show's terrible, but also I can't stop watching it. It reminds me of the VH1 era where I'm just like, yes, this is awful. And I don't know why, because they're trying to find out who the F-boy is, right? They're trying to figure out, like, who the F-boy is, and then, I had this thought a couple nights ago when I was watching it, and I just could not stop laughing, and I want to share it with you all. I think they should put, like, five people of color in the house and, like, 5 white people, and they have to find the racist.
Side note, as of
One racist.
August 15th, 2021, there have been 504 seasons of Big Brother in over 62 franchise countries and regions.
Wow.
Well, it started in the
I will
Netherlands.
give them that's impressive.
It started in the Netherlands.
That's seriously impressive.
Hmm. But it's obviously based off of
Is Big Brother in a
1984,
yeah? Well,
like that concept.
it's that's trippy and a little ironic. I have some bits in my brace. With reality shows, it's always weird to see a spinoff sometimes, because I know another one from Surreal Life was the Brady Bunch, where the guy from, I forget which of the Brady Bunch guys,
Wasn't it like I Love Brady or
from
something?
the married a model, and then they also had like a bunch of spinoffs where like it was
Wait,
their
did
wedding,
I just make that up?
and then
It's
the
not
next
coming
one
up.
was about having a
Oh,
baby. Yeah, I Love Brady. It's I Love.
I mean,
No, it was from the Surreal Life. It was one of the Brady Bunch people.
well, because that was the name
Speaking
of the game.
the
TV
Brady
was
Bunch
everything.
also had a bunch of
Like,
spin-offs too.
like one of my favorites to watch
Shows
when I
from
was a
like
kid,
the
growing up in
70s
my
and
house
80s,
with
I
my
feel like
parents,
always
was,
had a spin-off attached
The
to them.
Jeffersons.
Move it on up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there were.
I think there was a spin-off off the Jeffersons, because it's like the Jeffersons was a spin-off of All in the Family.
Did any spin-offs come off the Jeffersons?
And then, okay.
Had Checking In. It only ran for 4 episodes from April
Okay.
9th, my
Got
birthday,
it.
to April 30th,
For, like, which
1981.
time it's made, Florida and
Florence's
Jefferson's
new
made.
job.
Oh, okay, so...
I don't know what that was, Jonathan. What was that? I saw it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool.
So she
yeah,
was
Florence
she
is
was
actually really
a
cool
maid,
in
and then the
Jefferson,
show
so that's
checking
cool that
in just made
did
her an
on a show, even
executive
though
maid.
it didn't really work out.
Also,
That was.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Snooki and JWoww.
Oh, really quick, jumping back to reality show, Jersey Shore. That was another one that had the Pauly D project, the show
Also-
with Vinny, and the
you
Jersey
find it?
Shore Family Vacation. Why doesn't that one have an end date? Oh, okay.
There's also a different
it
world.
lasted, which
spin off
ran.
of the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Which that show
I got
is
scared for-
interesting
It's
because
like, are they
Lisa
still doing
Bonet,
Jersey Shore Family
who
Vacation?
is the character who's spun off into a different world where she's in college. She was only on the show for one season, and then the show continued for like 8 seasons after that. Right.
Without her,
So
yeah.
it's so weird that a show where you have a main character from another show was only on it for one season.
Well, I think she
She was pregnant.
I think she was
Yeah.
pregnant. Yeah. No, it's just a different worlds. And that was it.
Wasn't there also a spin-off of that show?
Oh.
Or did it just continue to? I remember they were in college. A different world where the character's name was Whitney.
Oh, did they?
Married the guy who had the glasses
No, I think
that
that's the same series.
with
Now,
this,
that
went like
actress
this with the sunglasses.
did,
They got married and they had their
go
own
on
show
to
for a
do
while where
another
they were
show,
married,
with,
unless that was the same.
in Living Single, in which she, her, Queen Latifah, and some other people whose names I can't remember right now, they had that aired kind of around the same time. And I remember I used to get those confused, and I used to think those shows were connected because she was in both. At least I think that was her.
Also, did you guys know?
Oh, Whitley. Yeah, Jasmine Guy.
Oh, okay. So she was just.
That's who played Whitney.
Also, did you guys know
Probably.
that
I just
Family
remember
Matters
her
is
character
a
being
spinoff
called Whitney.
as well? From Perfect Strangers.
Whitley.
The mom
What
in the
was-
show, she was like a minor character in the show, I think.
From what?
Oh no, she was in the main
Also-
cast. Was she? No, she wasn't in the main cast. And her character got the spinoff to Family Matters.
Also, I messed up. I totally, I'm mixing Kim Fields up with Jasmine Guy. They are not the same person. Kim Fields is in Living Single. Jasmine Guy was in a different world. Two
Kim
different
Fields was also
actresses completely.
on that other show that I'm forgetting the name of.
Yes, that one.
She's
Is it
Facts
the
of
Facts
Life,
of Life?
yes.
Is that what you were thinking of? Yeah.
Did the Facts of Life have any? I like how we're
Exactly.
just learning what was the spinoff of what yes.
I mean, that was because TV. It wasn't like it is now. Or now,
Or
there's,
just-
like,
The Facts of
streaming
Life was a
services.
So
spin-off of
every
Different
the
Strokes.
90s was just a
Everywhere.
spin-off of
Yeah, there's,
everything.
Like, back then, it was like they wanted to capitalize on their TV shows for as long as they possibly could. So they were just like, if they could spin it off, hey, okay, cool. Here's a character who's blowing up, spin off. Here's a character people like, spin off. Here's a person we don't like and they don't get along with the rest of the cast, spin off. it's just, it just, you know what I mean? It's just spin-offs.
Also, I'm like being the 90s, actually just being TV in general, you had a cast of successful black actors and actresses. You
Surprised
didn't want
Carlton
them to
didn't get
leave
a
screen
spinoff.
yet because
Or
they're
like,
like, okay, we
Yeah.
know for a
Maybe
fact
they were done.
people are
They
gonna
were
watch
like,
them.
You know, I already know.
So
for the
let's
rest
keep
of my
going
life,
with
people are gonna be
them.
calling me this character.
So I mean, that is
I
like
don't want to go
awful.
any further.
I don't want this. Listen, it worked for Urkel.
Alfonso. Which he's hosting this upcoming season of Dancing with the... He's co-hosting.
I
This
know
upcoming
his
season
name
of
is
Dancing with
Alonso.
Yeah, because he was on
Yeah,
Dancing
he
with the
won.
Stars.
Him and
Alfonso.
Tyra
Yeah.
Banks.
See, apparently I don't. Sorry,
But,
man. I tried.
Man, we are like, but you know what though? Like, we can't not talk about spinoffs and not talk about the fact that we are living in a golden age of spinoffs. Because right now we're getting some good ones. I haven't watched it, but I hear Better Call Saul, the shit. I hear it's like really good.
But we also live in a world where there is Fear the Walking Dead as well.
I mean, listen. The Walking Dead is different, all right? That's the one that's trying to hold on to the 90s method of, we will make as many shows, damn it, until people stop watching this show.
They're apparently making movies, too.
Yeah.
The Walking... No. The Walking
I actually liked Fantasy Factory.
Dead is the equivalent,
but not as much as Robin
Fantasy
Big,
Factory.
though.
Because it has spun off its own self of that. No, I did too. I loved it, but it led to Robin Big, and then it led to ridiculous. I feel like Robin Big had its moments. I just like when
I
Big,
remember,
may he rest in peace. When Big would just catch Rob doing stupid shit, and he'd be like, "Man, no."
Every time I think of that show,
like, no,
Robin
just
Big,
no.
I used to watch it every single day.
He's like,
after
"What?
school
It'll be fine." He's like, "No."
The scene that comes to my mind is when Big they're trying to set world records, Guinness World Records, and Big is trying to set the world record for eating the most bananas in like a minute. I don't know why that scene just like comes to my mind. I think he did it. I can't remember, but yeah.
I just, you know.
I remember there was one where Rob was doing something, and I can't remember what, and Big literally just picks him up and throws him like on a bed or a couch or something. Like, it was almost like a chat. You've annoyed me now so much. He just grabs him, straight up like lifts this man and just drops him. Like, kind of a reminder, like, you pay me to protect you sometimes, yeah, but like, I'm also there's a reason you do that. So, but yeah, that ended up leading to ridiculousness, and then now there is a show that apparently is like ridiculous, amazing.
I'm just saying.
That
I'm
sounded
like,
wrong. I
like The
apologize
Walking
for the way
Dead
I
is
said that.
gotten.
I do apologize.
It's gotten ridiculous. Look at this. There's The Walking Dead. Right?
It's like
Then there's-
amazingness or something.
Then there's The Walking Dead: The World Beyond. Then there's Tales of the Walking Dead.
It's
then
a talent
there's The
show.
Walking Dead: Dead City. Then there's gonna be a Daryl show that hasn't even been announced yet, but it's coming. And then there's gonna be a Rick and Michonne series that's also gonna be coming, but that's not out yet either. Then there was supposed to be a film trilogy, but that got canceled.
It got canceled?
So it's just like,
I
yes.
figured because I was like, where is it at?
There's just so many shows. It's just like, why? Who's still watching Walking Dead this feverishly to justify all of these shows?
Well, if you get cast on The Walking Dead, you're like joining the Marvel universe at that point because you will be
true. You have
will
job
have a
security
job.
permanently,
unless you get killed off. Then, but then there's prequels too, so they could revive you.
Yeah, but if people like you enough, even if you get killed off, because Rick is dead,
Like,
they're
No,
still
he's-
doing a
he
show.
didn't die in
the
it
act-
when he left.
He's still
Yeah.
alive.
but
He
Why?
left on like a helicopter or something. Yeah,
God dang it!
because
No,
they
he's
knew they was gonna give him more checks in the future.
I guess it's gonna be grime time forever.
He never died. They never.
Rick Grimes will never die.
Yeah.
I'm just
saying.
I think we need to start closing off here.
Probably House of the Dragon. Right now.
Because you can't talk. There's
House of
no
the Dragon,
bigger
it literally
spin-off
broke the HBO
show
servers.
than The Walking Dead, I feel like now.
Oh, you mean the amount of spin-offs? Yeah. True. Yeah, Walking Dead.
No,
is
I meant
beating
it doesn't
everybody with
have-
the amount of spells.
No, I meant
hey.
it doesn't have
We'll compare
enough
notes on
the
how
amount.
House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon is getting good.
I will say, I still want to watch House of
You know
Dragons.
what it is?
I'm gonna watch
because they have
Elvis
books
tonight
to go
and
off
then the
of.
House of
They're
Dragons
not
tomorrow.
flying blind. So
I got my timeline.
that's why it's like it seems like it's pretty decent. Matt Smith has been doing pretty good. No. It was good until they ran out of. How Game of Thrones was good until they ran out of books.
So did Game
then
of
they
Thrones,
had to make
and
their
look what
own stuff,
happened.
and that's when it got bad.
I love Matt Smith. They were also kind of, and then they.
Okay.
Jonathan, finish.
Wait,
Elvis
Yes,
and
do that.
Get to halfway.
'Cause I'm not going to watch
point
I have
Halfway
two
Island,
things real
and we'll
quick.
compare notes. We'll talk about that.
It is.
Because I'm embarrassed that I watched the
hear
show,
he's
but I do like it.
terrible in
It's
but
horrible.
sure.
I'm gonna move past that Tom Hanks slander.
Elvis is a
I-
movie, and
listen,
it has Tom Hanks.
Even Tom Hanks
he's
has a bad
fantastic.
role every now and
Go
again.
on,
All right, the man's not unstoppable. The man's not unstoppable. Okay.
He was the first main celebrity to get
infallible.
COVID.
How dare you?
And what
No,
does that got
no.
to do with his acting ability?
No.
I'm not saying Tom Hanks is amazing.
Hey,
Tom
we
Hanks
will
is
not.
incredible. He's a great performer, but
He was.
Yes.
We do not.
Anyway, this is really random.
Because he
but
can
I'm
survive
on the Family
anything.
Matters
Hey,
Wikipedia
no,
page.
we will not
And
handle
apparently
any.
on September
Then that
1st,
is where your
2021, it
sentence
was
should
announced
end.
that an animated
No, but
Christmas film.
that's your sentence
Did I
ending
do
there.
that? The holidays.
Go.
Do not to the holidays. A Steve Urkel story would air on Cartoon Network as part of the Block Acme Night in 2022. It was set to be released on HBO Max. However, on August 22nd, 2022, that was pretty recent. It was announced that the film would not be moving forward on HBO Max. Oh, that must have been part of their big chop of when they were chopping everything from their platform and will be shopped elsewhere. Current bidders are Apple TV Plus, Hulu, and Netflix. They're really trying to get in on this animated Steve Urkel story. Wow. He was great in Big Fat Liar. You remember that movie
Has the guy been doing nothing else?
with Frankie Muniz and
Yes.
Amanda Bynes?
The
Yes.
actor who does too, or has he done nothing else?
and Paul Giamatti.
No, he wasn't he in Dreamgirls? I feel like he was in Dreamgirls.
Wait,
Jaleel
That
White.
is that his only other accredited role?
Are you sure?
He's definitely not positive.
He was in Dreamgirls. He played a talent booker.
As who? Oh my god, that is the most non-important character in that entire movie. I totally forgot that he was that character. That's right, he was in it. As that as this B-roll where he wasn't even.
Oh,
Poor Jaleel, he deserved better. He deserved better.
The last thing I was gonna say was
But it
I
wasn't
would be remiss
wrong.
if I did not mention speaking of Jaleel White, because Saved by the Bell. Quickly, I'll run through the Saved by the Bell saga. It started out as Good Morning Miss Bliss, which is a show that nobody remembers. It lasted one season, but it had the characters of Zach Morris. Jaleel White played one of the students. It had Zach Morris, Lisa, and Screech. Those were three of the characters that were on the show. And then so they canceled that show, but those three characters, they were suddenly in another school in another state. And that was Bayside on Saved by the Bell. And Saved by the Bell ran for 6 seasons. And then they're like, okay, keep the momentum going. These kids are hot. So they made 2 movies. One where they went to Hawaii and one where,
Are these TV movies or movie movies?
One where they went to Hawaii. And then they made Saved by the Bell, The College Years, which only lasted a season. Everyone but Lisa and I think
TV
Jesse
movies kind of.
were on that show. And then, yes. And then after the college years, they decided to go back to Bayside, so they made the new class, and that lasted for 7
The one with the curly
seasons.
hair.
With Screech and Mr. Belding, they were holding that down. They played two of the staff members at the school. But the weird thing about the new class was they changed casts every single season. You would have 3 people, and then the next season 3 of the students would be gone. They would be replaced by 3 new students, and then another 2 would be gone. They would be replaced by another 2 people. It was really weird, but I've seen every single episode.
They were graduating.
No, they were all in the same grade.
Yeah, well, sometimes you just drop out. They were failing anyway.
But the thing about it, every single season, the season premiere after that, they would have like a line in there. One of the students would be like,
Seniors?
"Oh yeah, and John went to
seniors.
go to
Seniors are doing-
Switzerland, and Lacey is on a scholarship in somewhere foreign." It would just be like one of those things where it's a line, right? So yeah, that was that. So yeah,
So
that's
they knew what they were
entire
doing.
history
They
of
knew
Saved
what
by
they
the
were
Bell.
doing. They knew what they were doing, at least.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that after
The only one I really ever remembered.
Zach and Kelly, they got married.
The only one I really remember is the wedding episode.
Oh,
Or
and
the
then they
wedding movie,
rebooted the show.
where they
on
go to
Peacock
Vegas to get wedded.
last year.
Yeah, I was about to say, you
Or
forgot the
2 years
reboot.
ago. Yeah.
They're still alive. Spinoffs are weird. It's an interesting thing to have the idea of like,
Oh,
well,
come
this
on,
character's really
man.
popular,
You
let's
can
make
do
another
better.
show around them, and it can work. It's worked before, but it's always just a weird concept to me because I'm just like I don't know. Do we not have no original ideas? We're just gonna take these characters. The only time it's fun is when it's like it really is like a different show. Like you have like Cheers and then you have Frasier. Frasier is nothing like Cheers. It's like it might as well be like its own show that has nothing to do with Cheers. But the fact that it came from Cheers is kind of cool. It makes it that much more much more tangible.
It's so funny because with Frasier, they had one episode where Frasier went back to the Boston where Cheers is, and they were looking at the dad, and they're like, "We thought you were dead." Because in Frasier and Cheers, his dad was dead too, and he didn't have a brother, and so when they met up again, he's like, "We didn't know you existed. We thought you were dead." So they had revamped the character so much that it wasn't even the same real character at the same time either. Because they were like pointing out the inaccuracies of it. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, he used to be drinking all night. He used to drink beer."
But it's
You
just-
drank
it's-
beer? Because then in the show, Frasier, all he
Yeah,
drank was like sherry.
It makes it
and,
like
sherry.
it can
wine
work if it is
stuff.
the similar show, like the Parkers.
But I get what
basically
you
was
mean.
like
I do
Moesha.
like that when it's a
another
different
sitcom.
style show.
But those ladies had such personality, it made it feel different. Because Moesha was always cool. Like that show was about the family, just being the family. The Parkers was about 2 women who are just like cartoon characters, just like living their lives. But it worked. It was good, and they could have still had their serious moments, for sure. But now it's like spinoffs are kind of depends on what you get. Because, like, you have, like, the Walking Dead saga where, like, everything is virtually the same. It's all just horror stuff. Better Call Saul is just as, like, shady and like, drama-filled as Breaking Bad was. House of the Dragon, same thing. So, it's, like, it's weird. Spinoffs are now at a point where they're just, like, we just want quality. We want to make the same shows that feel the same, but with different casts.
Yeah. Well, we also have to mention...
It's interesting.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, we also have to mention, well, you say different casts, but there's also the example of
I feel like
The Sweet Life of
Go
Zach
ahead.
and Cody and The Sweet Life on Deck, where it's basically the whole entire same cast,
I don't know
except
if
they
that's
just
a
on a
spin-off
boat.
as much as that's a sequel. I wonder if that's a sequel series. That's not a spin-off. Because sequel series is it's just the same characters, new location.
I'd say it's a spin-off.
Because that's all.
Because they add new characters.
That's not a spin-off.
And then they...
Okay, but that's just like it's a sequel. But literally all the characters.
Oh, no.
No, Alex is gone. Here we go. Well, the audio version will have that cut in there. Where you freaked out for a second. But anyway,
I just
no,
feared
like
from
I
it.
think
My
that's a
internet
sequel
was a little
series.
unsteady.
Oh no.
Oh no.
She's frozen on my screen.
Same.
She's frozen on your screen.
Yes. Can you hear
I
us?
can't hear you guys
there we
because
go.
you're actually
you hear us
really
now?
unsteady.
Can you see us?
I'm gonna take the silence as a no.
Can you see?
Audience, we're having Zoom issues, so if you're hearing the audio listeners out there, that is what's going on. Alex is currently trying to work on it. Oh no, this is
I think I'm okay now.
okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear us now?
Okay.
Okay.
There's a good chunk I'm just going to have to cut out from
Cool.
video, but it's fine.
That's all right. We can wrap up. Soon.
All right. Well, regardless, Sweet Life Deck is a sequel series because literally the entire cast from the first show
No.
Well,
comes
except
over,
Ashley Tisdale.
except Ashley Tisdale.
Yeah.
Ashley
And the
Tisdale's the
mom.
only one that didn't.
Oh yeah, and the mom.
And
I get.
Julio.
Yeah, that's true. The mom.
Oh, and
didn't
Esteban.
count.
No.
Esteban.
Who the hell is
I don't
Julio?
know. Didn't you also? There was one at the Comic-Con. We were looking for
Oh no.
Julio.
His name was Esteban Julio Ricardo. Those were the
Montoya?
first three names that I remember.
No, there's a lot more names after that. Here's a question, real quick, before we do wrap up. Do you think the Marvel shows are spinoffs?
Yeah, they're spinoffs
Because a lot
the
of them
movies.
are based off characters from the movies.
No and yes all at the same time because they are still the same characters, but I don't feel like it is. I feel like it becomes its own show until there's a direct, like, almost wink or reference that it's going to be a
they're
spinoff.
Well, they're directly, all of them are directly linked to the Marvel Universe. Everything that happens is going to be, like, impactful in the movies or change, like, the movies.
Well, it's more so the movies
all
change
tied
the
together.
shows.
No, vice versa. Like Loki with the multiverse stuff, like that stuff's affecting the movies now.
I'm still so sad that Thor doesn't know Loki's alive.
That's hey, you never know. They say they're doing another Thor movie, so maybe that might be the one where Loki
That
shows
hurts.
up again. And also, I will say, although whether you think the Marvel shows are a spinoff or not, one thing we know for sure is a spinoff is Agatha getting a
I
whole
will give
show
you that.
off of WandaVision. So that one is a
One's
legit spinoff show.
I will give you that. I don't know if I'll say a spinoff from a movie is like something. But I feel like there has been shows made from the characters of movies. Well, technically, I guess Black Widow.
Well, Black Widow's another movie.
Oh, that's right. Hawkeye?
But Buffy, technically, like Buffy was a movie before it was.
See,
a
that's
show.
where I'm like, it was originally a movie, so when they made a show, it wasn't a spinoff, they remade it into a show. Angel, however, was a spinoff of Buffy. So I
True.
I feel like it's a
Something-
different vibe because then they're like, oh, it's a spinoff, but again, there's nobody of like the pure main cast because they didn't have anybody from the Buffy movie in the show.
Except Sarah
No.
Michelle Gellar, right? She was the one person. That
She wasn't in the
No?
movie.
Oh, interesting. I've never seen the movie.
You
I've
should
only
watch
ever seen the
movie.
show.
It's actually pretty good.
Interesting. Because I'm thinking about Jimmy Neutron too, where I'm like, Jimmy Neutron, the movie came out, then the show came out. Although they never referenced the movie.
I didn't even
Like,
know there was a
nothing
movie.
that happened in the film is ever referenced in the show, like at any point.
Okay.
There's another one of those, like the Dragon Tales documentary. There's another documentary on Jimmy Neutron as well, and like how that show was revolutionary because it was the first to use that technology.
First 3D animated, like animated.
Speaking of
show.
spin-offs and like remakes and stuff.
Well, not the first, but it was the first one using that new technology.
Speaking of spin-offs and remakes and reboots and all this stuff, I don't care what they touch. I don't care what they remake and shit. I will complain. But do not touch Dragon Tales. I swear to God. If I find out they're doing
Watch
some like
tomorrow, live
live
action.
action bullshit, 3D, CGI,
Dragon Tales.
crap, whatever, they want to do it like they did the Rugrats things. those
me
weird ass
see if-
babies. I swear
Let me see
to
if there's something
God.
in production right now.
if they touch Dragon Tales, I would be legitimately angry.
See, with kids show with toddler shows, it's different because they're like, as long as we make colorful things, we don't really have to try that hard. So that's why they don't bother remaking most of them. Like, there's not going to be another version of Blue's Clues.
They're
Blue's
making
Clues
a
is classic.
There
of
is.
Blues.
It'll never be
Yeah,
the-
there's multiple Blues Clues.
They have
I mean,
the new guy.
you know what I mean.
They have a current
Which, by the way,
Blue's Clues that's on right now with the new guy, and they're making a
Yeah, but it's the same Blue's Clues, just with a
But
new
they're
host.
also making
you know?
a Spider-Man No Way Home-esque Blue's Clues movie with the 3 dudes.
which I won't lie, I'm super excited.
That's just
I'm
the
ex-
description of Spider-Man No Way
That's
Home.
actually
That's like, the universe is cracking. like, no, Blue, this is not a good thing. This is a bad thing. Shut up. Like, I need to kill Steve. Hand me the
Do
shake.
you see the paw prints that lead to the Tesseract cube? I do.
I've always said if there's one voice acting job I would take in a heartbeat, it's playing Blue from Blue's Clues. Like, I would easily just do that job.
Okay, Dragon Tales is currently safe, but I wouldn't be surprised in the coming months or years.
That's the.
if I
I don't think anybody outside of people who lived in that time period are thinking about Dragon
Who
Tales.
knew so many people were thinking about Blue's Clues?
Blue's Clues is going to live forever. It's
You
a
know, I
classic.
still sing the mail song when I get mail. And I've done it a couple times at work where I'm like, here's the mail, it never fails. When it comes, it makes me want to wag my tail. I can't help but yell, meow.
Mail.
I'm 31 years old. And I do that at my legitimate day job. Meow.
Mail
Mail
time,
time.
man. No, I don't think they'll ever do anything with Dragon Tales. Because, you know.
well, J-Lo
I don't know
named her
what it is,
kids.
but anything that has.
J-Lo named her kids after Max and Emmy on Dragon Tales.
I'm just
Oh, that's
saying,
right.
you know, anything with the Asian lead, they just avoid it like the plague
Technic-
for some reason. And it's a shame.
Dragon Tales, they were Spanish. They were
Were they?
Mexican.
They always looked like. I thought they were Asian.
Asian.
Kids.
I mean, honestly,
No.
Look at them.
honestly, they could have passed for Filipino. That could.
Yeah.
They were.
You know what? You
I
know,
always thought that.
there was my mom sometimes looks Japanese, and it's kind of weird, because we have no Asian in us. And she had some coworkers that were Japanese, and they're like, "You're not." And then Christian looks Filipino sometimes. I don't get it.
I mean, I can see the Hispanic thing, but I don't know. To me, when I was
they
growing
might
up, I always
they
thought
might
were,
they might have been
Asian descent.
Filipino. That's pretty close.
No, they weren't. They were definitely Latin. There was apparently a character called Enrique. Enrique is 6 years old. He is Emmy and Max's new best friend and next door neighbor who moved from Colombia to the United States and also once lived in Puerto Rico. He's raised by his father and his grandmother, Abuelita. He first appears in season 3, episode.
Okay,
remember
okay,
this.
so
I don't remember Enrique.
it's got Latin people in it, so we're safe. Nobody ever remakes shows with Latin people in it. I'm good.
Except the Brothers Garcia, which I still need to watch.
Which
that
nobody
on HBO
fucking
Max.
talks about and nobody acknowledges. So like, you proved a point right there.
I do. I've talked about it 3 times
Here.
on here.
Which
I
a
may
show
be the
you
only
have
one.
never watched.
Here, I'm gonna share my screen. If they do reboot it, this is what it'll look like. Look at that.
Is this a fan art?
Yes, this is a fan art thing. They did this. I can see this right now. This is
This actually looks
this is
kind of cool.
concept art for
It actually
the
looks-
Dragon Tales universe when they make a whole franchise based
I
around
would
Dragon
dig a
Tales.
dragon scale on a. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go to Spirit Halloween, get a staff, and get like painted like a dragon scale.
I know they
are.
already do have the concept, like the dragon scale. Like the dragon scale is lost. We need to. Somebody's captured it. They already have that concept right there.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, he's ready. This man is ready to cut
That's
somebody.
Max.
Like Max is ready to go.
I would.
He's like, I wish somebody would touch the dragon scale. I wish they would.
Lord. I don't know what to say anymore. Just leave Dragon Tales alone. That's all I ask. I beg people, and I stand by my statement. Nobody's gonna touch it because they have Latin people in it.
I mean, yeah. I just
And Quetzal
is
was
there-
from Mexico.
Quetzal?
He's the old wise dragon, the yellow one.
Yeah, the old
I know.
one.
I like the word. I thought you said it wrong.
I forgot. No, I forgot his name was Quetzal.
Yeah, and I was like,
until I
are you
watched that
trying to say
video.
pretzel? Quetzal.
Yo, I think the only spinoff I could think of kids programming is like Elmo, right? Didn't Elmo get his
Elmo's
own
World.
show?
And he had a movie that I watched all the time on VHS as a kid. Elmo's Big Adventure or something. That might be the movie I choose if I win trivia.
Is that the
That's the
movie where
movie I'll
Elmo
choose.
finally just throws Rocco in a lake and he's just like,
No.
oh, I'm sorry, but Rocco couldn't swim, so that's why Rocco's at the bottom of the lake.
No.
Too bad, Zoe.
No, he
and
like
then just walks off,
he-
satisfied.
it's called Elmo in Grouchland, and like Oscar
I've seen
Have you
that
seen it?
movie.
it was
I
good as a
remember.
kid.
I remember some of it, not all of it, but I remember some of it, and it was
Uh-huh.
good.
You
like
got really
Vanessa
excited
Williams
of
is
that.
in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she like sings like an R&B song in it. I forget like what happens, but I just remember like, yeah, it's
I
a good.
Didn't
it's-
watch that. I
it's a good movie as a
watched
kid.
Elmo's World. Na 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 na. Elmo's World. I also
World.
did a lot of babysitting, so I got to learn this. I got to watch these kids shows way into my teen years, so a lot of them are still stuck in my head. This is a song, da 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 da, Big Bird song, da 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 da, la 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 la, Big Bird song. Jesus Christ! I need a new topic, or that's gonna be stuck in my head.
Oscar is still one of my favorite characters in Sesame Street, though, because he just tells it like it is. He's just like, I'm sick and tired of everyone's crap around here.
He's the only one that lives in a trash can. All these people are like, friendship, love. Let's leave the grouchy old man in the dumpster, though. That's fine.
That's why Dave Chappelle's joke still holds water, where he's just like, yeah, Oscar, you're a grouch. It's like, of course I am. I live in a friggin' trash can. I am the poorest dude on Sesame Street, and nobody has ever offered me a place to stay, at least a hot shower, nothing.
Just chosen him.
Forget you and the large. Y'all let the large pigeon walk around naked, and y'all are always hanging out with him. But me, though, I can't get invited to nothing.
Snuffleupagus is just Big Bird's imagination, and nobody else can see it. And that's just not me being like, oh, no, that's an actual thing. The Snuffleupagus is Big Bird's imagination only. He's his imaginary friend. Nobody else sees that giant mammoth walking around behind him.
Real quick, which do you guys like? What do you guys prefer, Sesame Street or the Muppets? Which one was
The
like
Muppets.
Sesame Street.
puppet show of choice? Ooh, interesting. It's a split.
I loved Kermit. Kermit was always my favorite.
I did too. Yeah.
I think I like the Muppets more, but that's only because there's more variety. Like everybody in the Sesame Street is pretty much the same, except for like their occasional like slight differences.
I think because I had more exposure to Sesame Street, like when it would come on, I would watch it as a kid and everything. So, and of course, and I had a Tickle Me Elmo and Elmo in Grouchland.
Those used to freak me out, and they still freak me out.
Yeah. Just the high pitched laughter.
Yeah.
Dude, that show was that toy is the killer of people. All right, when that toy came out, it was the most popular toy around the time, and I'm sure a lot of people got shanked on Black Friday because of a Tickle Me Elmo. there are graveyards filled with people because of Tickle Me Elmo.
Like it was just I think it was a high pitch laugh that just like bothered me so much. I don't know. I'm a weird person. That's another thing added to the list of things Alex doesn't like. Tickle Me Elmo.
Hopefully, got Cookie Monster some help. You know, he needed it. Man had a drug problem.
There's something in those cookies. It wasn't baking soda.
It wasn't baking.
Let's wrap.
You thought it was.
Well, on that note of
What's your
Of
guys'
Muppets getting drugged.
what's your guys' favorite spinoff? What would you recommend a spinoff of?
Or puppet show, I guess. You know,
That's
we-
also a
we
topic,
slipped into
apparently.
another thing, but
Alex,
There you
are
go.
you asking us or the audience?
I'm asking everybody. I'm trying to include
the
you two
audience,
guys.
like we've
No, we
already
shared-
shared
what-
ours.
what is-
It's been an hour.
Yeah, but
We
what is
share all
the
of
one spinoff show that you would be like, let me like you have to watch it more than the original show? Do you have any? Do you have like one?
No.
Ooh.
Oh, for a word,
This is a
I
silent
thought
podcast
y'all,
now.
I thought y'all froze again.
No, because I've never liked any, like, there's never been a spinoff show I've liked more than the original. But there have been spinoff shows that I've liked, that I thought were good, that were like, man, this is great. This is a great show. But most of them, I think maybe Frasier, and even then I barely watched Frasier, but I never watched Cheers. So I have nothing to compare it to. I just like Frasier is cool.
I
like
actually
Frasier.
really love the Frasier,
closest-
so I would actually say I like that better
What
than
was that?
Cheers. That would be the one spinoff I definitely would say I like better than the original. Frasier and Cheers.
I mean, technically, I guess Law and Order, like SVU, I think it's more interesting than regular Law and Order, but that's it.
Maybe if we're counting Saved by the Bell as a spinoff of Good Morning Miss Bliss, then I'd say that.
Oh shit! No, I got it. I know exactly the spinoff that's better than the original. CSI Miami. Yeah! Just that alone made that show 10 times better. And this man just always coming out with the one-liners. Then he puts them shades on. Then the Who starts kicking, and then the Rock starts. The theme comes on. I'm like, this is way better than regular CSI. I don't know why they even like have regular CSI on. All I ever want to watch is CSI Miami.
Just for the one-liners. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, heck, even the mysteries are. I'll never forget the episode. There was one where 3 people died. One person fell, like they were at a vacation resort in Miami. One person fell onto an umbrella that was like, and got stabbed, penetrated through, and got stabbed through them. It was one of the, umbrellas that covers like a table out in like the little like beach area. Another person drowned because they were buried up to their neck in sand right next to the shore, and another person was in one of those like industrial dryers that are huge, so you can put like a bunch of clothes in them and stuff. A person was in there and died because as it tumbled around and stuff. And I was like, this is an interesting mystery. How the hell did this happen? And they were all 3 from the same group of people. And I was like, this is weird. Oh, watch this episode. I don't remember because I never did finish that episode. But one day
You'll
I
just
will.
go
And I'll
back.
find out the mystery of how these 3 people died. And it also made me think to myself, I'm like, is it worse to die in a dryer or in a washing machine?
Well, I say a dryer because that's you're getting cooked alive, basically. Washer, you drown. It's quicker, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you can hold
But then
your
the
breath,
water fills up slowly,
probably be okay.
and you have to.
Right, it takes long, and then you just have to hold your breath while you're in the spin, and then it drains out pretty fast.
How did we get to this topic? Anyway,
Because it's us. We're literally a show called The First Ones to Die. You gotta put in How to Survive. But anyway,
that's true. Listening to us on your podcast platform. If you are watching us on YouTube, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe. We would very much appreciate that. And yeah, we'd love to hear your feedback. And until next week, where we will have something for you.
stop that.
Something special.
Stop trying to announce things. We don't know what we're doing.
Stop trying to announce things.
Until then, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Bye.